Hello once again to all you sick Sallies out there. Back at it again with another episode of the Fantasy Simpletons Fantasy Football Show. I am your host, Kyle Fridland. Join with me, as always, my brother and co-host, Jake Fridland. What up, what up, what up?
What up?
It's an exciting week today. Week 1 just happened, and now week 2 is upon us. And everybody's thinking, when you get to this point in the season, who am I going to start? Who am I going to sit? Well, we got exactly that for you. We are going through every game this week, all 16 games, and we are going to make sure that you know everything you need to know about this upcoming week of fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to get right into it. So without further ado, let's go. We're going to start off with Thursday Night Football, the Commanders taking on the Green Bay Packers here. If you look down at the bottom of the screen, we have start, flex, and sits. Some of the starts that I have for this week on the side of the Commanders, we have Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Zach Ertz. This looks to be a tough defense from the Packers, especially how they dominated against the Lions last week. However, the Commanders have a varied enough offense and an interesting enough offense to me to warrant a few different starts here. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt deserves a good flex spot as well with Austin Eckler. Yes. And Chris Rodriguez, depending on if he's healthy or not, would still be in this category regardless, just because he's an unknown at this point in time.
Yeah, all of these guys were used pretty well. Obviously outside of Rodriguez this last week. And, I mean, you got to just expect them to kind of have a pretty similar role this week because,
it's coming out of week 1.
Commanders. Yeah, exactly. And they're a good team. So you should look for McLaurin and Samuel out there. Samuel did surprisingly well, but, I mean, also unsurprisingly because they don't really have anyone else outside of them, and Zach Ertz was pretty touchdown dependent, but I think you should look for that moving forward because he was very similar last year. And yeah, I agree with just about everything. Krosky-Merritt, watch out for him. It's so interesting that his role was what it was. Week 1 for him being a 7th round pick, but he's kind of showing out. So fun one to watch. And then Eckler is obviously still involved there as well. So, yeah.
We've had some stuff to say on the Packers wide receivers in a couple different episodes here. Jake, are there any of the matchups where I put in certain flex or sits that you disagree with?
No, same. I'm the same way, bro.
It's kind of just... Sorry, you go first.
No, I was going to say we're on pretty similar wavelengths. And, we've discussed some of these ideas in our last video and just before the video. So, yeah, we're pretty similar.
They're going to be difficult to predict every single week. It's probably going to be one or two stand out every single time, and it's going to be hard to decide which. For this one, I decided Matthew Golden would be a very solid flex spot. I know people are still high on him, so not willing to give up yet, just to see for this week. Tucker Kraft could be a good red zone weapon. And yeah, this is going to be a tough matchup, but I think the Commanders will actually take this one.
Yeah, I completely agree. Can't count them out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving along here. We've got the Cleveland Browns going against the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be a very interesting matchup, usually because every divisional matchup with the AFC North is very varied. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. Sometimes they're shootouts, sometimes they're low-scoring, sloppy games. For this one, usually, and for anybody that doesn't know, if you look at the Ravens side, I don't have Lamar Jackson, I don't have Derrick Henry, mostly because they're automatics. I felt like it would be redundant to add them to the list because you're going to want to start them every week, regardless of who the matchup is. I'd go with Zay Flowers for this. He had a very good game against the Bills. Might as well give him a shot here to see what he can do. Likely could still be hurt. I'd still put him in a sit spot, as well as Bateman and Mark Andrews, who even in that shootout game, Mark Andrews still had only a single catch. I am not high on Andrews whatsoever.
Yeah, same here. He's getting older. I think likely has more of a shot once it comes back. But yeah, it's just tough.
Yeah.
Lamar's too good though, and Flowers has shown last week that he could be, a pivotal part of the offense moving forward.
I think he's worth a look here, even though I don't yet trust him fully as like a top wide receiver option. I think he's worth the risk.
Yes.
If you look at the Browns here, though, the Browns were actually very difficult for me to decide who's going to be in what category, because we have a lot of movement, not just with the tight ends, but the running backs. We don't know if Quinshon Judkins is going to be back this week. How is that going to affect Dylan Sampson in his role? Is he going to be good in this spot? I think if you do have Dylan Sampson, he's worth trying out for a flex spot just for that pass catching ability. And even Joe Flacco, I don't think in a lot of leagues you're going to be in a position where you would need to start Joe. But if you have to, I think he's there and I think he'll be a solid matchup. And please stick with Njoku. Harold Fanning could be good, but for now, I do want to see what Njoku can do.
Yeah, I agree. You can't be out. Like, again, guys, this is week 1. Okay. So you got to take everything with kind of a grain of salt moving into week 2. And yeah, it was encouraging that Harold Fenton, had the type of game that he did. But I think it's interesting to just look at how Joe Flacco throws the ball. He kind of throws it all over the place. I mean,
yeah,
Sampson had like 8 catches last game. So, yeah, I think when Joe Flacco's out there, it's really almost anybody's game. And he still has chemistry with Njoku. I think it's more of just matchup to matchup basis. How many guys are going to be on Njoku? Harold Fenton Jr. will probably be open. So, but you never know. I wouldn't lose hope just yet, though.
I think Fannin would actually be a super interesting dynasty stash as well coming after this.
Mm-hmm.
For the look into how long people think David Njoku is going to be around on the team long term, because Fannin could actually turn into something really special.
He really could. Yeah.
He really could. I think the Browns do still have a shot to win this matchup as well. They nearly beat the Bengals, but they shot themselves in the foot. Speaking of the Bengals, let's go straight to their game where they're going up against Jacksonville. The September curse is still here. Joe Flacco had a bad game. Jamar Chase had a bad game. The whole passing attack, the whole offense had a bad game. But this week, in particular, should be a lot higher. Jacksonville's defense is still not a good defense. Burrow, Chase Brown, T. Higgins should all be automatic starts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. And I'm going to especially highlight Chase Brown, personally.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, why not?
Dude, come on. He has the ball. You know how many carries he got in the last game compared to every other running back? All of them.
Yeah.
He had every single carry. He had every single catch out of the backfield. I don't know if it was exactly 100% of all the snaps, but it felt like it.
Yeah, there's just no competition there for him. He's the best in that backfield, and I think it's going to stay that way. And yeah, they just use him. So definitely eye on him. And then, yeah, you can't count Burrow out just yet. I think that last week was just a matchup thing. Hopefully it gets better. I'm sure it will. I don't know why it wouldn't. These guys are top tier, performers, Higgins and Chase. So of course can't count them out. And then for Jacksonville, you know, similarly to the Bengals wide receivers, Thomas.
Yeah.
What's up with BTJ? He had a pretty down week, but I don't think that's anything to lose faith in him about, right?
After looking back at the game, he still got a lot of targets. It just was tough connections.
Mm-hmm.
So you just hope it's a blimp week. This happens in some games. I mean, Jamar Chase had a bad week. I remember last season, Amon-Ra St. Brown did nothing in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
So take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, definitely. And Strange was a higher contributor on the Jacksonville offense. And he's on a lot of waiver wires right now. So definitely could be a nice guy to get, especially if some of you out there had George Kittle and need another tight end to fill in. So
George Kittle being out 3 to 5 weeks. Strange being personally my tight end start of the week this week. A bit of a lower end names, not the first one that people are looking for, but for me, it's all I got.
Yeah, and he's
now that George
highly
Kittle's
utilized. Right. He's a good tight end, so definitely look out for him.
Hunter was also highly utilized in the game as well. They had a lot of plays designed for him, so I'd still be worth trying him out as a flex spot. ETN has risen significantly after that trade to turn Tanks Bigsby straight to the Eagles to be their kickoff returner.
I know.
He's droppable, and I'm pretty sure you know that because you probably dropped him if you had him.
Yeah, and it could turn into something bigger, but for now he's definitely just a handcuff, and really just filling in because Will Shipley got an injury, and I think he should be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy, but it definitely means ETN is going to be the guy moving forward. Bishop Tootin might get some action, but definitely high on ETN now moving forward. But
absolutely.
As a flex position, it's too early to tell if he'll revert back into his old ways. Last year, not doing too much, but this last game he looked good. So
Jacksonville, you have the pieces. Please don't let me down.
Yeah.
We're going to move straight along here to the Giants going up against the Cowboys. This should be a much easier matchup for the Cowboys, in my opinion, even though Giants do have a very good defensive line. So that's why Williams is in a flex spot. I know he had 2 touchdowns in the last game, but he wasn't particularly great on the ground, and it shouldn't be dismissed on the Giants side. As far as the others, Prescott, I think you should still start him. Pickens, you should start. And for me, I don't know. We gotta discuss about sitting Jake Ferguson just for this week. There's a lot of good tight ends to start this week.
Yeah, I agree. Aside from the sit on Jake Ferguson, but that's just personal preference. No, I think it makes sense. If you have other options, like there's a lot of decent guys on the waiver wire that I think I would start over Ferguson as well. But just take that with a grain of salt. Do what you want to do. Ferguson, it could go either way. I think Williams is an interesting one for me because, yeah, his yards per carry weren't really great, and he did get 2 touchdowns which rose his score a lot, fantasy-wise, last game. But the backup, the rookie backup, what's his name again?
Jaden Blue.
Jaden Blue is inactive again this week. So that means that Williams is set to pretty much be the lead guy. And, it looks like they want to use him as the goal line guy. So hoping for him to get, some more touchdowns there. maybe get a little yardage. But yeah, outside of a flex, I think you might be overvaluing him just a little bit. And yeah, I'm actually a little bit lower on Pickens personally.
I could see that.
I think he'd be a fine flex. I could see him as a start, depending on who you have. But personally, I just feel like that because of how much of a ball hog CeeDee Lamb is. But again, hopefully this is a better game for Dak Prescott, and he can really utilize everyone around the board. So I'm not mad about a start here with Pickens, and yeah, definitely higher on Dak Prescott this year. I mean this week.
I think Pickens I see in kind of like a T Higgins role. There are going to be games where he does nothing, but I think there are going to be games where he's going to pop off, and you're going to regret not playing him. I think those could be one of those weeks. And then you look at the other side. Oh, look at that. Double sits. Not a single flex on this. If you watched that Giants Commanders game, this team was stinky butt cheeks. This team looked awful on offense. It's already bad when Russell Wilson, they had to come out and say that he was the week 2 starter because there were already discussions of bringing in Jackson Dart this early into the season. So in my mind, outside of Malik Neighbors, the whole offense is sittable right now. Tyrone Tracy had 10 carries for 24 yards.
That wasn't good.
I know the defense is probably not going to be super great without Micah Parsons, but they're good enough to beat these guys.
Yeah, definitely Neighbors is probably the only guy you want to start this week.
I feel dirty talking about the Giants. I feel gross. I think we should move on.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. This matchup's more interesting.
Yes.
The Bears and the Lions. I want to talk about the Lions first, actually, because I watched that Monday night game. Caleb Williams, I put in a start this week, which might be a bit controversial, considering if you watch the game, statistically, it might have been good. Personally, watching it, he didn't look that great. He's such an erratic thrower. Anytime he has to throw any sort of ball, whether it's a deep ball, intermediate, short ball, you never know how it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
He can easily just as overthrow him on a deep ball as he can on a 5-yard slant. It's hard to watch him, but he does get a lot of rush yards as a quarterback.
Yeah.
And they've been in positions last year where they've been forced to throw the ball a bunch, and eventually he finds somebody and he gets touchdowns. Mm-hmm. He still had a decent game last week, and I think
he really did.
Yeah. So I think he's still startable. Surprised. It's a gross start. It's a nasty start, but I think he's still startable along with DJ Moore and Odunze, with Swift and Loveland in sort of a see who you got sort of flex options.
Yeah, and also, first of all, you said
What did I say?
You said you were going to talk about the Lions, and then you went into the.
Oh, did I say the?
Bears,
Sorry,
anyways.
I meant the Bears.
Right. You're good. Just so that people are on track. Obviously, people know who Williams is, but so I definitely think Moore is more startable than Odunze, right? He seemed to be having a higher target share. Obviously, he's the number one, but Odunze he was there. He was the guy. And I was surprised we don't have him on the board here, but to see Zacharias or
is
Zacchaeus?
Alamad Zacchaeus.
Alamad Zacchaeus. He was a decent number 3 over Luther Burton, but I think that just shows that Caleb is kind of thrown across the board. So it's good to have more Odunze and even Loveland up as a flex. I think that this offense is good with Caleb kind of kind of utilizing a decent amount of receivers, weapons. So yeah. I like those guys. I'm more Odunze flex though, but just based off production from last week. But it could definitely be.
Yeah, that's fair.
So.
Yeah.
Oh
no, you keep going.
I was just gonna say I was surprised with Swift this last game too, and I think he'll continue to do fairly well. So I like him as a flex position as well.
Don't be shocked, Ben Johnson coming onto the Lions, if he has a lot of game plans of how to stop that Lions defense. A coordinator that kicked their butts in practice for years. So, give him a shot. Give the Bears offense a shot. On the Lions, it's kind of the same old. It's the guys you would expect to start and flex. The only one I have in the sit category is Montgomery. I got him as Monty because I couldn't fit him on the screen with that long last name of his. He did super well last season when the offense is on fire. And we still need to see to what level this offense can be this year. Because if it's not on fire, he's probably not super startable most of the time. But hey, that's just me.
No, I'm with you. And also, guys, you gotta remember, okay, this is week 2. I know I keep saying it, but it's like, I feel like people might come at us and be like, Tesla got that touchdown. Why isn't he a flex spot? Well, come on, guys. Okay.
Unless you're in a real deep league with like 3 flex spots. They did say he would get more involved in the offense, though.
Yeah, I think it's an encouraging. It's an encouraging note that he got that touchdown, and he played a fair amount of snaps, but it's just tough to call. Generally, like historically speaking, the Lions have mainly stuck to 2 wide receiving weapons, and third is kind of just there to help out. So I don't really see that changing fantasy wise, but you never know when Tesla could make that step up. So yeah, trying to say that, but I agree with everything else on the board for sure.
It should be an interesting matchup to watch considering what they both did in week 1. We can move on here to the AFC East matchup, Patriots versus Dolphins. Give them a shot, guys. Booty as a start. Just try it out. Let's see what happens. I personally think it would be interesting to put him in a start scenario along with Drake May and Trevion Henderson, because if we're talking about teams that were just pure cheeks, that was the Dolphins last week. They were horrible on offense. And the Patriots are looking to be a decent defense, even though their passing game, their pass defense might be a little sus. So sit most of the guys. Hill, it's hard to sit him because of the name value. Achane, you hope that he gets some good targets out of the backfield. He should be startable.
Yeah, and I think for the wide receivers on New England, it's pretty theoretical right now. Anyone could have their ideas of who might pop off, and rightly so, because it's really anyone's game, in this wide
still
receiver
a lot
board.
of pieces.
Still a lot of pieces. Still a lot of guys that could, make a name for themselves on this offense. But we don't have much to go off of outside of week 1 and preseason. And Butte, he looked pretty good. So why not? Obviously it's just tough to start Douglas and Williams. And even Stevenson, and unless we start seeing things. Definitely higher on Henderson. Myself, I think they'll continue to use him, and he'll begin production. But yeah.
Butte, one of the big wide receiver waiver wire ads this last week. I picked him up in the Megala Bowl. If anybody follows, that's a fantasy footballers thing. We can move on here real quick.
Yeah.
Got the Niners facing the Saints. And who do we see that highlighted in green? Why, it's Ricky Pearsall. For me, he's my wide receiver start of the week. He looked really good against the Seahawks last week. And after the injuries to George Kittle, and the injuries to Juwan Jennings, this team can't catch a break. He's the only guy left. And I'm not even kidding. I think he's actually like the only guy that can catch passes past Luke Farrell and Tonjes.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's in a spot you kind of have to play him. Purdy, I think you kind of have to, even though he's facing a bad team. It's hard to tell if he's really a start. There's just not a lot for him to do with the ball in his hands right now. It feels like a Christian McCaffrey game. It's a Christian McCaffrey world, and we're just living in it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, till he gets hurt. And it's all Pearsall, baby.
If he gets hurt, this team can't move the ball at all. There's nothing.
Yeah,
there's actually nothing left, and I feel so bad for them.
Yeah.
And then on the Saints side, you got Kamara, and Olave is a flex player because that's kind of what he's been his whole career, is just decent but not great. And you figure it out from there.
Yeah, you have Johnson on the start.
I do have Juwan Johnson on the start. From when I looked into the game a little bit more, for some reason their team was very pass heavy the whole time. Alvin Kamara only had under 15 carries.
Totally. No, I completely agree. I thought you were talking about the other Johnson. Caleb Johnson.
Oh, no. It's Juwan Johnson here.
Yeah.
He had 8 receptions in the last game, and it seemed like from what Kellen Moore was saying, he wants this to be a pass-heavy offense, which, by the way, you have Spencer Rattler at quarterback. What do you mean pass-heavy offense?
I know.
What is it? This team makes no sense. But if he's going to get targeted like that, I think he is a worthy start. He seems like one of the biggest waiver wire ads for this week 1. He's worth seeing what he can do.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like he could be this year's Johnny Smith. Think about it.
That's a good callback.
If his production, stays up, if they keep up with the targets, for him, I think why not? Yeah, he's looking better than a lot of other people on this team.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah, and then obviously, we could pretty much move on, but I was just gonna say, what's his name? The other Johnson, Caleb Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to wait on him, obviously.
We'll get to Caleb Johnson. Ooh, don't you worry about that.
We'll get to him on this
one. We'll get to him. He's coming up in a couple games here.
Yeah. All right.
Also, I don't even have Keandre Miller on the list. He got a few carries in this game, but for right now, it's still Alvin Kamara's backfield.
Yes.
All right. Next up, I'm excited for this one. It's going to be Bills going up against the Jets. The Jets, I'm going to be optimistic about the Jets this week. There are a lot of starters here. Garrett Wilson, absolute must start. Justin Fields, for me, is the quarterback start of the week. If you're looking for a good spot start, I think he's definitely worth taking after that massive performance he had against the Steelers. And Breece Hall. Breece Hall is a great start as well for this matchup.
Yeah, completely agree. Wilson just killed it. Not Wilson, Fields. And yeah, I think you should expect, hopefully, them to keep it up. But it's a tough one. We'll see, because again, they are the Jets, and it's just hard to have high expectations for these guys. But from what we saw, could be good.
On the Bills, yeah, it's kind of what you would expect. Cook's going to be the starter there. Keon Coleman would be the only name mentioning. I'm not
Yeah.
putting him in start yet because I
Mhm.
need to see more.
Yeah.
But
It
if
was
you want to try him
encouraging.
out, yeah, it was a very
See.
encouraging game. So if you
Yeah.
want to try him out at flex, he's very worthy of it.
Yep. I'll be guilty of starting him there. So
Yeah. Hey, go for
let's
it.
see. Why not?
Take it, man.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to move on to our boys. The Seahawks versus the Steelers. Oh, when I watched that Seahawks game, first of all, Jackson Smith and Jigba, I considered taking off this list entirely in case people weren't already aware. He's really good. Of the 150 passing yards that Sam Darnold had, he had 124 of them. He was nearly the entire passing game. Cooper Kupp didn't really do anything. Torrey Horton didn't get a catch. We didn't see anything from Arroyo. So for right now, the Steelers, I'm still going to go on history. I still think they're probably a good defense this season. And I want to believe that. So for right now, I think everyone else in the passing game, including Sam Darnold, is a sit this week. And Charbonnet and Walker are coming in at flex spots.
Yeah.
But
I think it's tough with Charbonnet and Walker. Um, you know, a lot of people higher on Walker going into the season, but the production just looked so split, so that's why we have them here. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it stayed that way. But definitely
and the
something to watch.
yeah, and the running game didn't look good either in
Mhm.
that game, to be honest. So
Yeah, it didn't.
it's one of those things you're just gonna have to wait and see on, but it looks like this is gonna be a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
On the Steelers side of things, I am a little bit more cautious about the Steelers. I still don't know if they're a great overall offense, even though they had a really great performance against the Jets. So for this one, I still say sit Aaron Rodgers. I think our secondary gets slept on a little bit. I think we did pretty good against the Niners, even though they were missing some pieces. Uh, so I think we're going to have a better time covering most guys. The only one I would suggest is starting DK Metcalf. I'm sure he's going to want to put in a heck of a performance going up against his old team, his former rival. And I expect him to be looked at a lot more than he was in the Jets game.
Yeah. And the only thing I would say outside of that is I think Calvin Austin. No, not Calvin Austin. No, Calvin
No, it's
Austin.
Calvin
Oh
Austin.
yeah,
It's
Calvin
Calvin
Austin.
Austin.
Okay, I just make
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Calvin Austin, I think could be a low end flex play potentially.
I think in deeper leagues you can have that discussion.
Yeah, in deeper leagues if needed. I think he was a waiver wire ad in some of my leagues, and it makes sense because they just don't have really anyone outside of Metcalf to catch the ball. So I think um, Austin is, is an interesting ad there, but definitely, yeah, in deeper leagues could be a low end flex.
Absolutely. We can move on here to the Rams and the Titans. Both these teams were in pretty low scoring games in their week one matchups. I expect it to kind of be the same here. There's no one on the Titans that I would think is a safe start. There's a number of sits here. I think just because of name value alone,
Mhm.
and you would have to hope he's going to have a better matchup versus not facing Pat Surtain again. Calvin Ridley in a flex spot, Tony Pollard in a flex because he's the only guy getting carries there. He's probably the only guy on that offense actually like really moving the ball.
Yeah.
But generally, I would try to avoid the Titans this week if you have that chance.
Yeah, I agree. It's a tough one. I don't even really know if I like Pollard starting Pollard, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
in theory, you would think, right? But if they can't move the ball, it's kind of tough. So, yeah, just stray away from this team for sure, if you could. But yeah, definitely Pollard and Ridley. If you need a flex spot could be okay. Hopefully they do better, but it's tough.
It's tough, man. It's Cam Ward. He's going into another game against another really good team and defense.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be another tough matchup. On the Rams side of things, it's the same names you would expect. And you feel like you're going to be hearing that a lot? Well, yeah, you are. It's Stafford, it's Puka Nacua. I think Devontae Adams is a nice little flex spot there. And Kyron Williams should have a pretty good game.
Whew, yeah. Dude, Puka's just so good, man.
He's so good. Oh, he's so good.
Baffles me that he was a 5th round pick, bro. But
Dude, that always happens, man. There's always guys that slip through the cracks.
There's always gems. Gotta look out for those gems.
Maybe these two teams have got some gems on their roster. We got the Panthers going up against the Cardinals. The Cardinals here, I think, are in line for a great game. In fact, even though James Conner and Trey Benson are splitting reps, it looks like at running back, they still trust Conner just that little bit more. And I think it's a good enough matchup to where Conner, for me, is the start of the week at running back. Yeah. I think don't buy into what's happening yet. I think there's an interesting discussion on that, but for this week, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm with you. I wouldn't put him in flex. I think he's a low end or fine RB2 spot, Connor, for this week, especially going against the Panthers. Yeah, I don't see why not. And then I personally have Harrison as a start. Okay.
I know. I think there's a few people that have him as a start. Maybe it's just me being a little petty, but maybe I just want to see it a little consistently.
Yeah.
I want to see if he can replicate it this week too.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I just don't see why production would slow down, personally, unless they were having a hard time with the defense they were playing. But I'm higher just because I see that I think they're trying to use him. I think they want him to be their guy with McBride. So I'm just a little bit higher, but I get where you're coming from.
Dude, it pains me to say this. Hurts right in my heart, but you got to sit Bryce Young this week. He was not facing a particularly good defense at all against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he did not look very good.
Yeah.
So unfortunately for fantasy, I think you got to sit him. You got to sit anybody outside of Chuba Hubbard, who we still think is a consistent running back week to week, and McMillan simply because of volume alone.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, we're rooting for you, Bryce.
Yeah, rooting for you.
Yeah.
Keep it up, bro. Don't get discouraged.
Don't get discouraged, man. Here we are. It's the Broncos versus the Colts. The tale of two tapes is extreme with this one. The Colts shocked everyone and had probably one of the best games they could have possibly had with Daniel Jones under center. It's not going to be that easy again. With this Broncos defense, I don't think there's any chance they're putting up 30-plus points. Sit Daniel Jones, sit Pittman, sit Downs. I know he's a popular ad this week, but don't play him. Taylor is an automatic start, and Tyler Warren looks pretty good. He seems like he could be their number one receiving option.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. It's, hey, man, I'm all about it. He looked good.
Yeah.
So I say, I think he's definitely a start in tight end if you have him. I personally have him in a few leagues, so I'm starting him. And I do think Pittman also looked good last week. But, like you were saying, it is tough just matchup-wise. The Broncos are just so good. Their defense is top tier. So
it is.
It's going to be tough. Yeah.
Also for Bo Nix, guys, listen to me. Don't give up on him yet. It's too early. It's way too early. It was just
yeah.
week 1. Let's see what they do against the Colts. The Colts
Yeah,
aren't particularly a great defense themselves.
exactly.
Uh, with that being said, there's not too many starts outside of him and Sutton. Uh, Mims, Bryant, the other receiving options. It's the offense is too varied, and they
Mhm.
throw it to too many guys. I've never seen so many running backs catch passes than when I see this team. I saw some players that I've never heard of in my life that caught passes for the Broncos. So for me, for certain players, there's certain sits. Ingram might not play. And both Harvey and Dobbins are flex options. I don't know who's going to pop off, but one of them's probably going to do uh, pretty well in this game.
Yeah, agreed. Um, I feel like they're potentially iffy flex spots, but yeah, you just don't know exactly what could happen here. Definitely start Sutton, and I agree with Marvin Mims as a sit. I just was not seeing it last game, man. I didn't see the vision, and it's just tough. I think in this game he could be a little better, maybe a flex potentially, uh, because he is their second option, for a wide receiver. But I don't know. It's really also between him and Franklin right
I
now.
I think it just depends on how long he's on the field for. I'm starting to look into that stats. He was only on the field 50% of the time. I know he's hurt right now, so maybe that plays a part into
Mm,
it. But I was really considering dropping him this week because he was one of my last picks in the draft.
yeah. Honestly, production-wise too, Troy Franklin looked a little bit better. So,
Yeah,
just something to watch. Definitely probably wouldn't start either of them. Um, but
absolutely.
gotta watch it. Yeah.
And we can move on here. We have a Super Bowl rematch. It's the Eagles taking on the Chiefs. The real question is history going to repeat itself? Let's find out. If we look on the Chiefs side, they don't have a lot to throw to. The only one I have as a start here is Hollywood Brown, just because 10 receptions, 100 yards. If he's getting that kind of target volume again, he should be considered for a start. Maybe a bit of a flex,
Mhm.
maybe somewhere in that range. Another double sits here. I don't care what team it is. I don't care that it's Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They did really bad last time they faced this team. Not much has changed. I wouldn't start anyone else.
Yeah. Eh, totally with you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
I
don't
think
know. It's hard to talk about this game because we just saw it. It literally just happened 6 months ago. So, and with the Eagles side of things, there's actually not a lot of names they have overall because they've really just focused on 5 or 6 guys, and that's about it.
mhm.
Start Brown, Flex Smith, sit Dallas Goddard, AJ Brown, give him another shot.
Yeah,
There's
don't be
no way it's
discouraged.
going to be that low again.
Hmm. It just shouldn't be. He's
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens with him too. You know, some people just have off days, man, and I think that was just a bad game for the Eagles
Yeah,
passing wise.
I would
So
agree.
yeah. Hmm.
We're getting into the last 3 games here. This is Sunday Night Football. An interesting matchup for Sunday night. The Falcons going up against the Vikings. Quickly on the Falcons side of things, even though I do like Penix and I like this offense, Drake London might not be set up to play in this game. We don't know that yet, but it seems like we're leaning towards reports of he might not play. If there's no Drake London, no Daryl Mooney, then outside of Bijan Robinson, there's no one to start in that passing game. Because I literally right now can't think of a single other receiver outside of those two on the Falcons. So there's not too much to talk about there. What's
Hmm.
more interesting to me is the Vikings. If you watch that Monday night game, it looked really bad for like the first 3 quarters. JJ McCarthy looked lost. He just it looked completely out of it. And then something flipped in his brain, like a flip switch. And he got 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. The team really rallied behind him. Everybody, the coach talked about he has the fire in his eyes and he was ready to be the leader. It's like this team is behind this guy on the biggest, brightest lights, and now he's going to be under more bright lights on Sunday Night Football. I think this team is going to succeed with all the guys they have in their spots.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was tough to watch the first half of that game with McCarthy.
It really was.
But yeah, I also saw that, like, they panned to him in the locker room or in the tunnel when they were going through for halftime, and he was staying there hyping up his guys. I don't know if you saw that. It was just he seems like a good leader, a good hype man.
Yeah.
And someone that people could just rally behind, and you need that as a QB in the NFL, you know? So and he came back in the second half and really showed out. So I think it's definitely possible that he's gonna keep being a fine fantasy start. And yeah, obviously week 1, so let's see how things go. But it is encouraging. A lot of these guys on the team looked pretty well. Looked pretty good. Mason and Jones, they split pretty evenly.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool to watch. I think Mason had some nice rips.
Dude, I think he's going to have a really good game. He's going to have a really good game against the Falcons.
He had like 3 18-yard rushes, bro.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm liking him moving forward. Yeah. And I think it's too early to tell for Thielen as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's just getting into it, so hopefully he can make his way into the flex spot down the line. But for now, we'll have to just wait and see.
You could tell what you like in a quarterback when you just look into his eyes. If you saw that meme of him after the pick six, his eyes was like, he did that, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's a scary leader of a man.
Yeah.
We have a Monday Night Football doubleheader, the first of which is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is really interesting because we have a really great defense against a really great offense. What do we do? Well, if we go over the offensive pieces on the Buccaneers first, we have Mayfield, should be a big start. I think Bucky Irving, even though it's a tough running defense, he'll have a better game than he did against the Falcons previous. Because they have Derek Stingley and the secondary is so strong, I have both Egbuka and Evans in more of flex spots, and the rest of receiving options down to sit.
Yeah, I'm completely with that. Yeah, I like Irving. I think Egbuka is only going to get better, so that'll be fun to watch. And they need him. They need him. They need Evans. So definitely watch out for those guys. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And on the Texans side,
yeah, go ahead.
Dude, the Texans side of things, I mean, we got another double sit. I just don't really see it working out in this game. They looked really bad offensively against the Rams, just on all facets. And I know they were a really good defense too, but outside of Nico Collins, I just can't really trust anybody yet as a real starter.
It's really tough. I'm just waiting for Joe Mixon to come back. Like, they need Joe, bro.
If he comes back.
If he does.
We don't even know how long he's going to be out.
Oh, yeah, but I think, yeah, it's tough. He's just someone that they can't wait on and is obviously a pivotal part of their offense. And it showed because their run game was not good.
We got one last game here. It's going to be the Chargers against the Raiders. I want to talk about Ashton Genty real quick. And I think there are going to be more discussions about him long term. People forget he's in a division that's super tough where everybody has a really great defense. He's facing the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Chargers twice a year. And considering what he did in the last game, 19 carries for 38 yards, 2 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should still start him for right now. You drafted him with a high enough capital to where you would want to start him every week. And I assume most people are, but I think be a little bit more cautious. And I'm more cautious with the passing game as well. Geno Smith had a super great game against the Patriots, but the Chargers aren't no Patriots.
Yeah.
So I want to see more, so I think it's a cautious sit for right now for him and his weapons outside of Jacoby Myers.
Yeah. Completely agree.
It's hard to really see it any other way, man.
Mm-hmm. Man, Myers looked good though. So I'm excited for that.
And I think the only one of the week, the only double starts that I have on the Los Angeles Chargers, I think Herbert is super startable, Hampton is super startable with a possible bounce back, and pretty much their top 3 receivers, I can't think of a reason to not want to start them. Maybe you could argue Johnston is a bit more of a flex pick, but outside of that, this seems like a very good, productive offense.
Oh, definitely. And obviously, starting these 3 guys is kind of dependent on Herbert throwing it for 230 plus yards a game. Let's be real.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough to keep that production all the time.
Yeah. It is. And my guess would be that Johnston kind of takes a little bit of a back seat, but we'll have to see between him and Allen. They both look pretty good. And my money's on Allen because he's just their guy, seems to be. Picked up just where he left off. But definitely something that we'll have to see. If Herbert can keep doing what he does best, then I can see all 3 of these guys doing well fantasy-wise.
They all play their position slightly differently. They all offer something slightly different. Quentin Johnston's probably more of a boomer bust week to week.
Definitely. Yeah.
But that is going to do it. That is us going through every single game, our start and sits. We got through it, Jake.
We did it.
We got it done.
Hopefully that helps you guys make your mind up.
Yeah.
Week 2, take everything with a grain of salt.
See what's gonna.
Anything could happen. But yeah, should be fun to watch.
Yeah, anything could happen. If you have any problems figuring out who you want to start and sit, if you have certain questions of who should I play over a certain other guy, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
We will definitely respond. I love responding to people with start and sit questions if you get the chance. We are available on Instagram, X, TikTok. You can listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And we are going to go off the air here. But Jake, do you want to say anything before we go?
Nope. That is it. Appreciate you guys. Just keep staying simple and whatnot, and tune into our next videos.
In a complex world, just make sure to stay simple. Good night, everybody.